One of our top stories this morning, 29-year-old Billy Lee Henderson is in the Missoula County Jail on a $100,000 bond for allegedly terrorizing, beating, and holding a woman hostage at her home for 5 days before she escaped. At Henderson's Missoula Justice Court appearance via video from the county jail yesterday, Deputy Missoula County Attorney Mark Handelman explained to Substitute Judge Shane Van Natta why he requested such a high bond.
Defendant in this matter repeatedly strangled, punched, kicked, slapped, and otherwise physically terrorized the pregnant victim in this case over a period of 5 days. This also includes holding a BB gun to her head, threatening her with bear spray, squirting hand sanitizer in her eyes, and further destroying her phone to prevent her from contacting law enforcement or anyone for help.
Handelman detailed Henderson's extensive and violent criminal history.
The defendant has prior violent offenses, including multiple felonies, including a 2011 felony theft, a 2011 felony criminal mischief, 2012 burglary, and several misdemeanors, including but not limited to a 2014 PFMA.
The defendant's mother and grandmother were in the courtroom and asked Judge Van Natta if Henderson could be placed on house arrest at their home in Missoula and that his bail be reduced to $20,000. Van Natta set bail at $100,000 due, quote, to the serious nature of the alleged offenses, end quote. Authorities have identified the 9-year-old boy who died after crashing an all-terrain vehicle. The Independent Record reports Tristan James Stratton, a third grader at Boulder Elementary School, died in the crash Sunday. The highway patrol said the boy drove the side-by-side utility vehicle off the right side of Sloan's Lane north of Boulder and then overcorrected. The vehicle tipped onto its side and the boy was ejected. The patrol said the boy was not wearing a seatbelt or a helmet and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Boulder Elementary School Principal Maria Pace said a crisis support team would be available this week to help the school community. Marie Dibble, a former social worker for Meadow Hill Middle School in Missoula, was arrested recently and charged with felony criminal possession and distribution of dangerous drugs. MCPS Communications Director Hatton Littman comments.
We learned that there were additional illegal drugs identified in that person's possession, and we wanted to continue to clearly assert that the individual, Marie Dibble, who served as a social worker from August of this school year until April, never, to our knowledge, possessed those drugs on our campus.
Littman referenced the situation that occurred recently with the YMCA's Learning Center and the contamination of its child care facility.
Given the additional news about methamphetamines and heroin and hallucinogenic mushrooms, which were found at the individual's home, Missoula County Public Schools has decided to, as a precautionary measure, close that staff member's office, and we're conducting swab testing to ensure that there is no contamination at the school site.
According to the charging documents, Dibble and her friend Jeffrey King were found to be in possession of methamphetamine, heroin, and psilocybin mushrooms back in February. A Wyoming Game and Fish Department official says he may have misstated that Wyoming was taking a portion of Montana's grizzly bear hunt allocation to set its own quotas. Large Carnivore Section Supervisor Dan Thompson said if he did so, he was wrong. Center for Biological Diversity attorney Andrea Sanistare said Wyoming officials told the audience in an April 12 public meeting that Montana agreed to reduce its allocation so Wyoming could set its quota using whole numbers. Conservation groups said the claim was repeated at more than one meeting. Make that environmental groups. Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Park spokesman Greg Lemon said yesterday there was no such agreement with Wyoming, and the issue of rounding up is unaddressed in a new 3-state agreement for managing grizzly bears in and around Yellowstone Park. Wyoming's proposed hunt sets quotas of 2 female and 10 male grizzlies. The FBI, in conjunction with the Gallatin County Sheriff's Office and Homeland Security, are seeking the public's help in finding 26-year-old Danielle Diamond. FBI spokeswoman Sandra Yee Barker said Diamond is a transient and has been missing since November of 2017.
The FBI is asking for the public's help looking for a woman by the name of Danielle Diamond. She's been missing from Bozeman, Montana since the end of November of 2017. She has family in Bozeman and was last seen at the Bozeman Public Library. What's a little bit odd about this case is the fact that she did not have her vehicle with her, she had no money, she had no ID, all that was left behind.
Barker provides a description of the missing woman.
She is about 5'7". She has medium to dark brown, long wavy hair. She has brown eyes. She weighs 135 to 140 pounds. She has a tattoo on her neck of a Mayan rune. It's circular and approximately 2 inches in diameter. She also has a tattoo on her back.
Anyone with information of the whereabouts of Danielle Diamond is asked to call a special tip line. That's 801-579-6187. Montana authorities are investigating the death of a woman whose body was found along the Yellowstone River in Billings as a possible homicide. Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder on Tuesday identified the victim as 42-year-old Harriet Wilson of Billings. Her body was found floating in a side channel of the river on Sunday afternoon by a man walking in Two Moon Park. Although there were no obvious signs of foul play, Linder said Wilson's death is considered suspicious and will be investigated for the time being as a homicide. An autopsy was performed, but no details on the cause of death have yet been released. Western Montana is undergoing an extreme temperature change this week, shifting from 50-degree temperatures up to the upper 70s or even 80s by Saturday. National Weather Service meteorologist Bruce Bauk said the warm-up is due partially to longer days, but also the arrival of the first high-pressure system we've seen for a while.
This spring has been kind of unusual because we've had one weather system after another with lots of clouds, and these weather systems have been just full of cold air. In the eastern Pacific, there's a deep weather system that's kind of pumping some warm air up out of the desert southwest and building this high-pressure ridge right over the Intermountain West. Late Thursday and Friday, the ridge of high pressure and the air mass further warms up.
The temperature spikes and drops, starting to look like a cardiogram. Bach says this weather warm-up will be gone almost quicker than it arrives.
This looks kind of temporary. It looks like we have another weather system. It's going to plow into the region late Saturday and Sunday and deliver quite a few showers, especially Sunday into Monday, and much cooler temperatures. Temperatures will probably cool back down into the 50s.
Radical temperature changes are nothing new to Montana, but Bauk said they usually happen in the fall, not the spring, and the tendency is for things to get really cold really fast, not to get warmer. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny skies today with a few clouds rolling throughout the day as high temperatures reach into the lower 70s. Tonight, clear skies will continue as low temps drop into the mid-30s before warm weather continues for Thursday. I'm meteorologist Anthony Franz for Missoula, KECI 13.